petty, petty. Most of these bitches is 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 petty. Most of these petty. Most of these bitches is petty. 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 Most of these bitches is petty.
Hi guys, what is up? What is good? What is Gucci? It is your girl Petty Paige back at it again with yet another video for you hoes. I bet you weren't expecting to see me so soon. Well, it looks as if, because you know I've been following this whole drama from the beginning, it looks as if this drama is now finally coming to a close. We posed a question in the last video if Trisha Paytas had unfollowed Shane Dawson and vice versa, or if it was a situation where Trisha Paytas had blocked them for her own mental health. Well, it seems as if we have got a definitive answer on that, because Trisha Paytas took to her Twitter and basically said, Shane and Ryland did not unfollow me. Just to set the record straight, I blocked them and there was no malice behind it. I did it for my own peace. This is not drama. It's very personal and I want to move on. So speculation can stop as to why they unfollowed. They didn't. Basically, I think there was only 2 videos out at the time, or maybe 3, speaking about the situation. I know it's myself, Rich Lux, and I think Adam McIntyre had made a video about it as well. So I don't know whose video that she saw, but she definitely saw a video out. But shortly after, she took to her own YouTube channel to basically say that she's through. She's through with Jeffree Star, she is through with Shane Dawson, she is through with Ryland, and that she didn't really think it was going to become headline news, that people were going to notice that, you know, they'd all unfollowed each other, and that she's come to the sudden realization that Shane is never going to have her back the same way that he has Jeffree Star's back. And it is quite clear to her that Shane had chosen Jeffree Star's relationship over her own, because he didn't care about her feelings when she approached him about the situation. So take a quick look at some of the clips that I've put together of Trisha Paytas' video, I Just Want to Move On.
I don't want to continue doing it without addressing this, because I don't want it to be like I'm just moving on and everything's okay, because I'm so tired of everyone just being like, everything's fine, get over it, all this stuff, because the truth is I'm not over it. It's why I still talk about it a year later. It was one of the most traumatizing things ever, like the mean girl behavior. And again, I didn't say anything for so long because like I knew Shane was friends with Jeffree, and Shane would call me and be like, don't make a video, it'll make things worse. Like, and now like looking back, I see like he had told me originally that he also was scared of Jeffree and was slowly distancing himself from him. And then I see him on the SIP, Ryland's podcast, not once but twice, as recent as last week, them just gushing over him and praising him, when Jeffree Star, in my opinion, is a really nasty, vile person. Jeffree was talking shit about me all the way up until me getting a Rolls Royce, thinking that I wanted to be him, talking shit about me and my OnlyFans, talking shit about me on drugs. My sister just did a TikTok. She dropped me off at the freaking airport and I was never on drugs. When I came back, I was not on drugs. That shit is so messed up to me and so evil. And what's so evil is that he's doing this like behind closed doors and like telling people and like planting seeds, like going back and forth, and then just ending it with like, you have my number, I'm not doing this internet charade, love you, girl. So condescending for being fucking traumatized. And what really set me off today, and I will no longer support Shane in any way. I'm not gonna hate monger him. I'm not, you know, I truly believed he changed from all the shit he got canceled for. I blindly defended him and all the shit he got canceled for, because I was like, you know, that's a long time ago. I never seen that around him. Like, I truly believe he changed. People change. And you know what? He did change from that. And you know what? He also proves that people do change, but not always for the better. Beyond having him on the podcast and stuff and telling me one thing, being like, I'm scared of him too, I gotta slowly distance myself, but like, don't make a video, like all that stuff, to like praising him on the podcast, to today switching tunes, like, well, he was the only one loyal to me, so I clung into something. That's 2 different things you're telling me. And then on top of it today, writing me a whole long thing, I'm here if you want to talk, but also if you just want to come over, Postmates, and like, let's just forget the whole thing. Forget the whole thing. This is something that traumatized me for a full year, and Shane and Ryland knew about it 2 days after this happened. It was traumatizing. I was shaking. My mom, my sister, I was like, my friend Jeff, like, I was shaking from it. It was beyond talking about me being on drugs and my sobriety to people. It was beyond that. It really triggered me more than anything today, and it's why I will no longer support Shane, and I stand by it. And it's the hardest. It's the hardest pill to swallow, is because we have been friends for over 12 years. And he told me today, oh, I guess I just wanted to believe the stuff you said about, that Jeffree said about you wasn't true. And like, I was shaking and traumatized by it. I was like smacking food out of my hand, calling me like saying I'm poor and all this stuff. It's like so triggering. And I know I'm 32 and stuff, but like I have so many, clearly I have so many issues, but even if I don't have issues, even if I have no problems, no mental health issues at all, like someone just saying that shit. And Jeffree's like, well, I already apologized, and like, love you, girl, just so condescending, and it's so disgusting. It is so disgusting that they're so fake, that it's so fake. And Ryland, they knew all this, and they continue to promote him. I go so hard to distance myself from anybody that talks shit about them. Anybody, I go so hard. Shane didn't believe me, his friend of 12 years. And believe someone that he's known for 3 or 4 years that used Shane, because Jeffree had the shittiest reputation when Shane redeemed him, gave him his redemption video, just like Shane redeemed Tana after TanaCon, putting people's lives in danger at TanaCon. He redeemed Jake Paul. He redeemed Jeffree. Jeffree used Shane for that. And maybe Shane used Jeffree too to make a palette and make a bunch of money. And clearly they sold... like, to me, it's like selling yourself to the devil. What, for money? For the palette? For business to keep going? It's so unbelievably disgusting. And never once did he ever say anything other than like, oh, come over, let's talk. Like, I'm in therapy for this. Like, I have problems with this. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be manipulated anymore. I'm not. He's actually evil. And you're the only person who's going to leech onto because you made him look good in the beginning and now you both are canceled. Jeffree has apologized to me via text. And like I said, I have a bad taste in my mouth from him. I didn't choose to accept the apology. I still don't, because it's not sincere, because he continues to tell people that I'm on drugs and just a really gross shit. And I don't know if Shane's telling him this stuff because I open up to Shane about my shit. Because I heard the whole herpes thing from Gabby came from Shane. That's what I heard. And I'm just like... And that's when they were tight and they were close back in the day. And now I start second guessing everything. And I don't really care anymore. I really don't care. It just really freaking hurts. But the Shane I have known for like 12 years has changed. And it sucks.
Okay, so that was a long segment. I really do apologize, but I thought that it highlighted the most important parts of her video, which is a good 20 minutes long. So basically, she states that Shane wanted to distance himself from Jeffree Star, but then goes onto the sip and gushes about him and all that kind of stuff. I think this just goes to show Shane's character, because when it was more convenient for him to start distancing himself away from Jeffree Star, he was more than willing to do that. But I imagine that after Shane Dawson's cancellation, he really didn't have any friendship options or alliance options. So he stuck with the person who was going to continue to make him money regardless of whether he was cancelled or not. Whether that's a smart or stupid decision, I'll leave you to decide. Then she goes on to speak about the whole thing where Jeffree Star was allegedly telling people that Trisha Paytas had a drug dependency issue. And really, honestly, I just want to circle back to the DMs that was leaked. So Trisha Paytas leaked the DMs between myself and her, where I basically said to Trisha Paytas that I'd heard through the grapevine somewhere out there that the narrative that was being spun was that she was so high and crazy on drugs out in Vegas that he put her on a private jet in order for her to get home safely. And I just felt like it was important for her to know that, because I'd known that for like the best part of the year, but never said anything because somebody else's sobriety is none of my business. Basically, Trisha's response to me after that was that this was not the first time that she had ever heard this story, that I'm not the first person to come to her with this story. And I said, well, basically, there you have it. You know that it's being said because I wasn't there in Vegas, and there's absolutely no way that I should know this story that's coming out of Jeffree Star's mouth. Allegedly. Trisha then went on to say that Shane chose to believe Jeffree over her and said that he wanted to believe that, you know, what she was saying wasn't true. And basically invalidated her entire story and invalidated the things that happened to her because it made things easier for himself. She also alluded to the notion that Shane manipulates people with his mental health issues, because when she was explaining about how traumatic things were for her, he was basically coming back at her saying, you know, oh, I went to therapy for this. Things like this is really hard for me. And whenever Shane would do that in the past, she would calm herself and not deal with the situation at hand. But she now says that she's sick of being manipulated by him. She also states that she feels like Jeffree used Shane and that Shane is now using Jeffree. So Jeffree used Shane in order to like change public opinion on how Jeffree was received in the public eye, and that Shane was basically using Jeffree by making a ton of money off him, but ultimately that Jeffree ruined Shane's career. She then ends with the fact that Jeffree Star did reach out to her in a text message and apologize, but she doesn't accept his apology and that she just wants to move on with everything. I actually genuinely feel for Trisha because it's really hard losing a best friend. I know, like, I think it was last year or the year before, I lost a best friend of mine, like somebody who I was super duper close with, and we're friends now, but like we'll never be the same as we were before. And it's really sad when you lose a best friend, and I honestly think it was harder than any breakup that I've ever been through, like ever. And it's because that's the person who's been rocking and rolling with you through all of your relationships, through all of your makeups and breakups. It's like the one consistent person, and the fact that she's been friends with him for 12 years and he plays her like that, he does her like that, is really, really sad. I'm glad that she's been able to see the light. I'm glad that she's distanced herself from those people, and I'm glad that she's got people like Healer and Moses and Ethan Klein in her life, because it looks like these people genuinely have her best interests at heart. I just hope that she's able to deal with her mental health issues in a better way so that she doesn't end up losing those people too. That's my only thoughts on the situation. Anyway, tell me what it is that you guys think. Do you guys feel for Trisha Paytas here, or do you think that she deserves it? Because in the comment section last time, there was very, very split decisions. Some people felt like she deserved all the karma that she got, and other people felt as if, you know, she did not deserve what happened to her. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, I don't give a shit anyway. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification with the bell so that you guys never miss a notification from the Petty Paige channel. Also, don't forget I have a website. That's www.dramaticboutique.com, and over there I sell my makeup wares. So if you'd like to purchase anything from Dramatic Boutique, I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, you badass bitches, it's been Paige.